Hi there, my name is Neil Blevins, and this tutorial is called 3-point lighting. So a 3-point lighting setup is a technique for lighting a scene or subject using 3 lights in a specific configuration. Once you've mastered this lighting setup, you can experiment with more advanced lighting, but this setup should give you a baseline which gives you decent results with the least amount of work. A lot of bad lighting happens because people put a big strong light right in front of the subject. This is often referred to as camera lights, since the light comes from the same or almost the same position as your camera. Camera lights are best avoided except in very specific situations, as they make the subject appear boring and flat. Ideally, what we'd like for a lighting setup is for the subject to appear dimensional. You can see detail, it appears to be round instead of flat, and you have areas of bright as well as areas of shadow. Here's a 3-point lighting setup on a sphere. Notice the brighter side, the darker side, and the edge in the darker area that's brighter. If you've ever taken a traditional drawing class, you may have shaded a similar sphere to this one. Basically, a core shadow gives an object dimensionality, regardless of whether you're drawing or painting in 2D or lighting in 3D. Here's a similar 3-point lighting setup on our CG test head. And if you want to follow along, by the way, and you happen to use Blender, you can download this head for free from blender.org. Looking at it, I would hope that you agree that this looks far better than camera lights. So now let's discuss the lights. A basic 3-point lighting setup is generally used indoors. It has a key light, a fill light, and a kicker rim or backlight. So the key light is the main light source, usually just off to the side. The fill light is to make sure the shadowed areas don't get too dark, opposite side from the key. And the kicker is placed almost behind the subject, which usually creates this bright rim that is used to visually separate the object from the background. Now here's the placement of the lights. So your key light usually has a pretty strong brightness. Its position is placed at a 45-degree angle to the camera and slightly above the subject, and it's usually a medium size. The fill light is usually got a low brightness. Its position is usually opposite side of the subject from the key at a 45-degree angle and slightly below the subject, and its size is usually large. And then the kicker light, it usually has a strong brightness. Its position is almost behind the subject on the same side as the fill, and its size is usually medium. Here's a variation of the setup that I use all the time for outdoors, which is only 2 lights. So the key light represents your sun, and the fill light is replaced by a skylight, also sometimes called a dome light, which represents the sky. It shines from all directions and adds very soft shadows. So here's the placement of the lights. The key light is a pretty strong brightness. Its position is placed at a 45-degree angle to the camera and slightly above the subject, and its size is small so that you get sharper shadows. And then the dome will have a medium brightness. Its position is centered on the scene, and its size is infinite because it's a giant dome that surrounds your entire environment. Well, it's easier to make a 3-point lighting setup in 3D, since you can position your lights around in 3D space. Remember, the exact same thing applies to a 2D painting. Dimensionality requires both shadow and light, and it doesn't matter whether you're using 2D or 3D, it's exactly the same thing. So remember, avoid that camera lights look by trying a traditional 3-point lighting setup. It'll give you good results quickly and keep your subject looking more dimensional. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this interesting, and if you did, please go to neilblevins.com and go to the education section to see more tutorials like this. And if you want to be notified the next time I post a new video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.